Hey, seventh grade. Today we're going to talk about different types of triangles. So I'm just going to write it down on a piece of paper. Okay, the first type is called a right triangle. So a right triangle has a right angle in it. So I'm just going to draw a right angle. And you know that every time you draw a right angle, you're going to put a little box in there. So that would be a right triangle. So I'm just going to write down the word right. Okay. Next, you're going to learn what an isosceles triangle is. Now, what an isosceles triangle is, it's two sides of the triangle are the same length. So I'm just going to put these little hash marks in there to show you that two of them are the same length. So if I told you that this was 8, because the hash mark is in there, you would know also that this was 8. The third side is not the same. It's not 8. If it was 8, we would call it something different. But this here, when two sides are the same, is called an isosceles triangle. And something really cool about an isosceles triangle is that not only are the sides equal, but also the angles, the base angles across from those sides are also equal. So you have two sides equal and two base angles in an isosceles triangle. The next type of triangle is when all sides are equal. That would be called a equilateral triangle. Equilateral, okay? Equilateral. All right, so an equilateral triangle, if I told you this was 10, what would that be? And what would that be? Well, you're right, because they both would be 10. Okay, now there are different types of angles. Your section right now that you're going to be doing is called angles and triangles. I told you before that this would be an angle. It's formed by two rays. A ray has an endpoint and it goes off in one direction. So this is one ray, and then this is another ray. And when they come together to form this little angle here, it's called an angle. So there are several types of angles. We have an acute angle. Acute is less than 90 degrees. So an example of an acute angle would be maybe a 40-degree angle. That is less than 90 degrees. All the way up to even 89 degrees, not quite 90. Okay, 89 degrees would be still considered an acute angle. When we have an angle that looks like this, that would be called a straight angle. I didn't do it very good. Straight angle. A straight angle is actually 180 degrees. It's straight, it's 180 degrees. We also have an angle that forms a right perpendicular lines, and we would call that a right angle. Okay, that's always 90 degrees. And then anything over 90 degrees but under 180 would be an obtuse angle. And this is all review because we did this with the 6th grade class also. Maybe this is like 135 degrees. That would be an obtuse angle. Obtuse means greater than 90, less than 180. Acute means less than 90, greater than 0. So those are all the types of angles and all the types of triangles that we're going to learn. Now, I just want you to know that if you have 3 angles in a triangle, they always are going to add up to 180. So if I told you that this was 52 and this was 61, the way you would figure out the third one if you weren't given it is that you would add 61 and 52 and you would get 113. And then you know that all 3 angles, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3, always equal 180. A triangle always equals 180 degrees. So that means you take these 3 angles and you add them up and they always equal 180. So how are you going to figure out that third angle? You're going to do 180 minus 113 and you would get 67 degrees. So I know that that angle is 67 degrees. Okay? In an equal